And our next guest is the wonderful Lisa Alexander. Lisa, welcome. And I will throw to you to introduce yourself. And I'm sure we're going to be mesmerized with your work as well. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I have to be really honest with you guys. So I'm in Pennsylvania, and the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. So I'm wearing my orange glasses because it is 10:30 at night here where I live, and a lot of you are in natural health, so you understand that we're not supposed to be in front of our devices an hour before bedtime because it stops the melatonin production. So I am wearing my orange glasses just to so I can't get to sleep tonight. I wore them off of the Super Bowl, and yeah, I'm there are fireworks going off in my neighborhood. So since the Eagles won, it's a big deal here in Pennsylvania. So anyway, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy my team won. So I'm coming here with some fun. And I'm not a big football fan, but when the local team wins, it's always kind of cool. So anyway, my name is Lisa Alexandra. I have a PhD in metaphysical sciences, and I have where did I put it? Oh, here. I have a number one best-selling book on Amazon. It's called Get Forked: How to Heal and Transform Your Lives with Tuning Forks. I won't go into all the details. I don't have that kind of time, but it really tells my story. It goes into the amazing supernatural things that happened before my physical eyes, not even my third eye, my physical eyes, that woke me up and brought me to this modality, which was divinely guided, given to me by my ascended masters, to the point that one time when I was working out the method, I literally felt a hand pierce the veil, grab my hand, and show me, how to do a particular move. So it's really interesting, and the story is in the book. But being a Libra, I'm also very balanced in science. So it took me a long time to come out with a book because I had to have all the science and all, we had brain scans, blood tests, and then not to mention just using all the general sciences that are out there to prove how sound, vibration, and frequency is the universe and how we are all part of that. And the original modality, it's called the Alexander Method of Vibrational Sound and Energy Therapy. And it really works on all the energy centers of the body. So, with very specific sounds, mostly the solfeggio frequencies and more, we are opening, aligning, and balancing the chakras, which, as we know, are connected to our biofields. We're also clearing the biofields. We're clearing the meridians and the nadis. So, we're clearing out the energy, the dissident energy, things that are bad. We're working with DNA. We have specific forks that are the same frequency of the RNA and denucleotides as scientists work with. So we can help clear ancestral DNA, because many of you probably know that those beliefs and the traumas that our ancestors faced are carried forth to us. So that's why we might say, "Gee, I'm a lot like my mom or a lot like my dad," because we've picked up their traits. And some of them are good traits, and some of them are not so good traits. So we want to break some of those trauma patterns, those ancestral patterns, and we can do all of that. Now, those are those sessions where I have you on my healing table, and it's about a 90-minute session. So we're not going to exactly do that today, but I would love for you to explore that more at my website, which is lisaalexander.com. And besides the free ebook that we're giving you today, which is how to get started using tuning forks. So I'm going to show you some of that today. I have a bunch of tuning forks that are meant for pain that I'm going to be demonstrating. But in the free ebook, there's so much more information and so many more how-tos. And my YouTube channel, which is Lisa Alexander Speaker, also has all these videos to show you how to use these tuning forks, and that's also all free. And the free meditation frequency download on my website is a guided meditation that helps clear your chakras using the solfeggio frequencies. Again, that's free, and I really would like you to explore that. That's the energy side. So now, when we miss the trauma trapped in our chakras or our biofields or our meridians, when we miss it and it then gets trapped instead, eventually manifests down into our body. And that's when it can cause physical pain or physical dis-ease. So once it's there, so when we're working with the energy therapy, we work with unweighted tuning forks. So these are the tines, and this is the stem. And when we tap them on a sounding puck, I don't have a microphone, so you're probably not going to hear this, but without a weight, it's all about the sound, right? And we use these at the ears. We cross over the head to connect the left and right hemispheres. We use them at the chakra points, kind of like a pendulum, but more. We clear the biofields with the sound. But then once it manifests in the body, let's just say someone's having arthritis or extreme back pain or neck pain. I have a client who's a dog groomer. She's 70 years old, so she's kind of always hunched over. So she's always sore up here and her legs hurt, from standing all day. That's when we use the weighted forks. So the difference between a weighted fork and a non-weighted fork is these are more about the sound frequency that they give out. And they actually create, when they're sounded, an electrical charge that bounces off between the tines. So that's the vibration. And that's why it's always nice to do these things live, because when we do them over any sort of recording, we're getting the sound, but we're missing the vibrations. And the vibrations are really important. So what the weighted fork does is when you tap it, now I kind of use this because I have to work quick because I'm a therapist. I use the fatty part of my hand to tap it. If you don't have that, you can hit here. Some of my students hit their hip. Ow, I just did that. That hurt me. I don't like hitting the hip. But you know what? A good old tennis ball works well. I don't play tennis, but I have a dog. So there's probably dog hair on this. This works really well. It bounces off. And what happens is instead of hearing the sound, you don't hear it really very loud because the weights then transfer that vibration, and they set the tines in motion. They transfer that vibration and the energy all the way down from the weights through the tine into the stem. And now what we can do is place it. Oh my God, that feels so good. There's a meridian point right back here across the traps, which we often start to relax, help people relax. So you can just kind of push it right in there and you'll just feel it just relax the muscle. We know scientifically that it releases nitric oxide in the body, which is a vasodilator. So it's going to bring more blood flow to that area. So if there's that area of pain, you want to take that fork and dig it right into that area of pain. Or if it's arthritis on your knuckles or things like that. And if that's too, I like it because I can really dig in like that. But if you want to move the tuning fork around your body, there's a thing called a boot that you can put on the end. And what it will do is, first of all, you can slide, right? You can slide this easier on the body, on the skin. If I go down my arm, it'll slide a lot easier and it'll disperse that vibration even more so is what'll happen. So that's what the boot does. But the particular type of forks that are working on the body, there's a set called the auto tuning set. And again, it's in that free ebook that you're getting, but there's 3 forks in it. And they're set on the 8th octave. So it's 32 hertz is the first one, which is this one, very, very long. And the longer the fork, the lower the vibration. So this one, because it's weighted, they can make it into a 32 hertz, which happens to be the frequency of our lymph system. So that's why I have a boot on the end of this one. When I'll work on a client, especially a client who's dealing with cancer, we will run this along the lymph nodes. You can also run it down your neck for the vagus nerve stimulation. You can run this kind of everywhere. It's a very slow, gentle vibration. And with these really long forks, you can really see how with these really long forks, it's a very slow, gentle vibration. And that's what lymph would need, a slow, gentle vibration. Also, if you're working on the head, you don't want to use a shorter fork with a high vibration or one without the boot on the back, because you certainly don't want to overstimulate the nervous system of the brain and give yourself a headache. So when we do cranial sacral therapy, we use this really big, long fork, and then we can, again, glide it along. Oh, that feels really good. Glide it along this various sutures and different acupuncture points on the skull as well. So that's the 32. Now, if you double 32, you get 64 hertz. So it's just like playing a chord on a piano. So now we're up to 64 hertz. So with the 64 hertz, you can see it's shorter now because we're getting a little higher in frequency. So the 64 is known to really help bone. So if you're working on like maybe mending a bone or dealing with arthritis, but there's a better fork for that I'll get to, that this is what you would use. It's kind of the frequency of the of bone. This is great to run along the spine. Now, certainly that's more of a practitioner thing, or if you can get someone to do that. But be very careful when you work with the spine. So I would suggest we do have courses, inexpensive courses on head, neck, and back that you can learn and become a practitioner and actually charge and make money or add it to your current practice, whether you're a massage therapist or an energy healer, or you can just use it for yourself. So because you do have to be careful of the bone if there is any osteoporosis or anything like that, or any fractures. So you don't necessarily be right on the spine, you'd be on the side of the spine. But anyway, 64 would be that particular fork. And then the really the workhorse of that, so 64 and 64 would be 128 hertz. So this would be the work, I call this the workhorse. This works on everything: bone, muscle, tissue, lymph. It's amazing. This is your arthritis fork. This is I just got, I just worked out at the gym, and I worked my arms out and they're really sore, or my lower back, I have sciatica. You can use this everywhere. And this is the one that Dr. John Beaulieu in New York in the 70s actually worked with this frequency, and they took blood tests to prove that the sound therapy using this frequency releases nitric oxide in the body. And I write about him in the book. He's kind of known as like the father of tuning forks. He really started this, brought this tuning fork thing back into the world in the 70s. So Jonathan Goldman is known as our godfather of sound, because he really started the whole idea of sound meditations and sound for healing right after Woodstock. Actually, he actually was a performer in Woodstock and saw how music affected everyone. And so anyway, and I do belong to his association, as most sound therapists do. So those are your great forks for the body. And then I just want to touch on some of the energy therapy, the workhorse for the energy therapy, which would be the 136, which is similar in size to the 128, but it is the sound of the ohm. So we call it our ohm tuner. And when you sound it and you listen to it, and unfortunately, I know with my computer, you won't be able to hear the sound, and it's subtle, but it sounds like om. This is a beautiful chanting fork. And when you chant or you hum, right, because your voice is your own sound therapy. You walk around with a sound therapy instrument all the time just from humming. So when you use the om to bring in that relaxation and to start meditating, that will reduce your pain if you relax. So you just listen to this and just om with it. Om. And I feel it already. It just brings you into this really centered state. Like, I know when I got in here, I was rushing because the Eagles literally just won, and I just kind of ran up here, and just listening to this just calmed me down from the first 15 minutes of our talk. I think that's just how powerful sound is. And this is such a simple fork. I carry this in my purse because I run into clients sometimes and they'll say, "Oh, quick, fork me, fork me." That's why the book's called Get Forked. And a lot of times it's something simple as I have a client that has sinus issues. And if we run into each other, she'll say, "Do you have your fork on you?" And I'll use this, in the sinus cavities around here, and just it clears her out right away. Or if I'm with someone who is just like I was before, really hyped up, right? And rushing, I'll just say, "Wait, breathe." And I'll just sound this for them. And they'll just come into this place of center. And when you can breathe like that and relax the vagus nerve, get that vagal tone going, that vagus nerve hits just about every organ in our torso except the spleen. And if we think about the gut microbiome that they're talking so much about, we want to keep that relaxed. We want to keep the vagus nerve relaxed. So if you just stay relaxed, that alone will help ease your pain. So it really will. And if not, if your pain is really intense, that's where we bring in the really big guns, literally the big forks, and we use them directly on the body where the pain is, or where we need to direct the pain to leave us. So So those are the forks I really wanted to just at least show you. Those are great introductory forks for relieving pain. When I do start a healing session with my clients, there's something I always do, and these are not weighted forks. These are called the angel forks. There are three of them in my set because one of them is a crystal tuner. So if you ever see a crystal tuner, you get one in our angel set. And I was a model actress in my much younger years. I'm in my 60s now, but so I was the first Bedazzler girl. I was the Bedazzler girl in the commercials in the 80s. For those of you who are old enough to remember, it put gems and rhinestones on people's clothing. And it was like it was my gateway into all the bigger stuff I did later. So my kind of trademark is to put these crystals on the ends of my forks. So these have quartz crystals on the ends of the angel forks. And then the solfeggio frequency forks, which is our mainstay in the energy therapy program for my practitioners. We use different colors for this is the oot fork, which is used for the root. So that has a red one on it. And then certainly it goes up in scale with our chakras. But what I always do first to clear the space, clear the dissonance, clear the energy, if someone in your family just wasn't in a good mood or they brought in stuff from work or rather than using sage, especially if you have fire detectors or pets like I do who don't like the smoke, and sage is actually a two-step process. You're supposed to sage first to clear out the negative and then use sweetgrass or lavender to bring in the positive. The angel forks do both. They are the ninth octave, the angelic realm, and they're very high frequency. You don't use these at your ears, but they clear out your space. They can clear your tools off after you're done working, your healing table. And they also call in and bring in the light or bring in the angels. And these you probably will hear. Reason why is they're super high frequency, which is why they're short. Like I said, the higher the frequency, the shorter the fork. Now, I do have mine made with longer stems than you'll see on the market because my practitioners use these, and it's easier for us to grab them with the longer stems. Normally the stems are about that long. So I'm just going to sound these real quick. Um, you put them in your other hand, whichever comfortable for you, and you use the crystal tuner, the 4096. Again, it's in that handout you're getting, and you tap them. And that you probably heard. So I would use them and I would just go around the room like I would with sage, or I have my tools set out, my tuning fork. So if I'm working on a client, when I'm done in between clients, I'll clear my tools, I'll clear myself, I'll clear the table. So they're a really neat little handy set. And it's also one that I travel with because if I'm in a hotel room, I really want to clear the hotel room out. You really can't burn sage in there, and they're easy and they're great. They sound beautiful. They sound wonderful. So what I like to do, though, I wish you could hear my sounds of the tuning forks. I do have bowls and gongs that I use for big sound baths, but we were really focusing on the tuning forks. So you can't really hear those, but at the very end, what I'm going to do is I'm at least going to uh, use the Om, and I'm a heart math practitioner. And, from that, I just want you to Om with me or silently, however you feel comfortable. And I will be kind of giving you a heart attunement, and we'll do that in the last few minutes. But I just wanted to know I'm kind of racing through because there's so much information. I teach courses that are a week, there are 7 days long. So, again, there's a lot of information in my book. My website, lisaalexander.com, has a lot of information. You'll be able to see the science. You'll be able to see before and after pictures of aura photos of before session and after session. So I do hope you go there to learn more. And if you sign up for my newsletter, we are going to be doing a big Valentine's sale on the tuning forks and the courses. So do sign up for that, and we'll announce it on my social media sites as well. But there'll be I just don't know what the code is for that yet, but my web person will be putting a code up for Valentine's, and it'll stay from Valentine's to the end of February. So I do hope you take advantage of that. Again, go to my website and you can sign up for the newsletter. That will so you'll get notified of the sale, or follow me on Instagram or Facebook, which is Lisa Alexander Speaker, and lots of free videos on my YouTube channel. So are there any questions before I go into the Om? Let me see. I can't tell. I don't think so. Okay.
Lisa, before you start, there's a couple of questions in the chat about your ebook. It's coming
Okay.
up to $7, and it's not showing up as free in the link. So
Oh, I sent you the actual ebook. I
yes,
thought you were going to put it for
I thought you
yours.
were giving that to me. So we've
I
used,
did. I sent it. Oh, you thought I was giving it to you. Oh, sometimes the people ask me for it, so they put it in there so they can
well,
just download
yeah, we
it.
used the link that we got from the Jot form, which is what I've put in the chat.
Oh,
And so
okay.
now I'll find the email that you sent me, and am I meant to put the whole book in the chat now? Is that what you?
I don't, if you can't do that, it wouldn't be a link to the book. I sent you the PDF of the
Yeah.
book.
So we'll have to sort that out in the replay section of this. Yes. So yeah, I just clicked on it myself and it was $7. So we will work
Yes, yeah.
out behind the scenes how to make it for free. So
Okay, yes. It'll be, yeah, in the replay, because that's why I sent you the whole PDF. If it doesn't work, we will it'll also come up for the Valentine's special as well, and there'll be a code for that. So
all right, fabulous. All right, well let you better do your thing. I'm excited to see what you're going to do now.
okay, so I'm going to just use the ohm. I'm going to try putting it up here and see if you hear any of it, but I just want everyone to close your eyes, take a deep breath, a cleansing breath from the belly. I don't know if you can hear it at all. And just as you breathe in, fill your whole mouth cavity. It's the ohm is actually So you open your mouth, bring it in, allow it to roll to the back of the palate, and then close your mouth and go So you'll feel the vibration through your lips. Okay, now let's do that together. Um. Now I want you to breathe that feeling, that vibration in through your heart. Breathe in through your heart. And I want you to fill your heart. This is what we do in heart math. Fill your heart with something that brings you so much love and joy, whether it's your child, whether it's your dog, whether it's your favorite ice cream, whether it's sitting by a brook in the woods. Just fill I want you to feel it. Don't just think it. Breathe that feeling into your heart, and I'll continue to ohm, and just breathe that into your heart with the breath of the ohm. Feel that love in your heart. Love heals everything. It's how Jesus healed, with love. So allow that love in your heart with the sound of the Om to vibrate through your whole body and to relax and bring peace and hopefully relieve the pain with the peace. Okay. Um, um. Just keep breathing. Now, with that feeling in your heart, bring that feeling, or even picture your whole heart with that feeling moving to the area that's in pain, whether it's your neck, your back, shoulder, your knee, your hip. Bring that there and breathe into that area. Feel the love. For me, I think of it, one of my dogs. Feel that love and breathe in that area. If it's your hip, feel that vision and that feeling of love in your heart, but put it where the pain is in the hip and breathe slowly through it. Take 3 deep breaths, slow, deep breaths doing that. And that's how you can use breath work in your own built-in sound therapy system on your own to help heal yourself. We almost don't even need bowls and forks and all those things and recordings. God gave us everything we need. So just find that chant, find that love in your heart. And I trained at the Himalaya Institute for quite a while, American headquarters, and one amazing Swami there one time told me as well, very similar, but he said, imagine your lung is on that, wherever that pain is, and breathe into it. But I find when you add from HeartMath, you add in that love feeling in your heart, add that to the breath with a sound, that vibration, whether you're just humming, but bring that into the area of pain. It's completely free. It takes very little time, and you will find some relief. So, with that, I'm going to thank you for being here this evening. I'm going to say namaste, and we will figure out the free book for the replay. And if not, too, we will have that all out for Valentine's as well. So thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening and sweet dreams.
Fabulous. Thank you, Lisa. That was awesome.